Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys watching today. All right, so today I'm going to do a different video. I realize there's a lot of newer stackers or newer collectors of silver or just people in general that are getting into silver and they probably don't know a lot of things, or if they have to watch like a bunch of different videos to kind of figure things out. So I actually came across a collection of silver and it's quite interesting. It goes the complete gambit of collectible, numismatic silver, 40% silver, 90% silver, world silver, and a 0.99, almost 100% silver coin, as well as a graded coin. So I think this would be a good video to kind of just show someone that's newer to the hobby, just to get an idea of what things are worth, what things to look for. Not going to get super detailed, but just give you an overall balance of things that basically will be out there when you're out there looking to purchase things either on eBay or from online dealers or at your local coin shop. So I'm going to start with, let's see here. We'll keep it United States style. So first we're going to start with the actual graded silver dollars. So these are the Morgan Silver Dollar series. They start year of 1878 and they go up to I believe it's 1904. Then they stop and then they reintroduce themselves 1921. Then they stop. 1921 has the Philadelphia, San Francisco, and 1921 is the only year that the Denver Mint gets included. And then we have obviously the brand new commemorative stuff, the 2021. I shouldn't say brand new, it's almost 2 years old now, of all the stuff that they struck in 99 silver or 999 silver. And they also did a peace dollar. So this particular type is a 1884. The O means a New Orleans Mint. And this is actually an OGH, which you'll see on eBay, or original green holder. This is basically the second generation of PCGS. And PCGS stands for Professional Coin Grading Services. And this one is gorgeous. It does not have a barcode. I'm sorry, it does have a barcode. Kind of has kind of a junky hologramish looking sticker, which is very apparent of the late 80s, early 90s. I forgot exactly when they made these OGH, but when you see a holder like this, because the new ones obviously are blue, or they'll be blue with the little gold shield in it. These are old guys, so these do kind of give a little extra premium. I forgot what I have this one listed at. I think it's like 98 bucks. This is a really good buy, and this is a mint state 63. So the highest mint state you can get is a 70. Those really don't exist in these older coins. 68s are extremely, extremely rare. Your 63s are a little more common. So something like this, if you find that out there, is about 100 bucks. All right, so that kind of goes for a slabbed or professionally graded coin. So it's officially, and this is actually investment grade too. So you can put this in a registry with PCGS. You can put this number in here, and you can basically create a collection of sorts. Now this is an actual raw coin. What that means is that the coin has not officially been graded. I give it its own little designation based on the different variants or types of coins that I've seen. And this is a beautiful 1885. I've got this listed at 75 bucks. So pretty similar to this coin. It's just this one here. My feeling is if you were to send it to get graded, it would probably get a higher grade than a mint state 63. And it's definitely well worth it. Or if you just like to collect really nice, great looking, harder to find coins. And what you want to look for Morgan Silver dollars is basically the eagle feathers, how worn they are, not unworn. And then the fields of the coin are basically all the spaces, the flat spaces of the coin, to see if there's any nicks, dings, or dents. And you also want to check out the rim, make sure the rim is really nice. And then obviously the cheek of the Morgan is a strong point, the hair above the ears, the Liberty, any of the high points of the coin is what you want to look at. But this is a gorgeous example, and asking, I think, 75 bucks for this, it's going to sell fast. They're just tougher to find, or if you do find one that's out there, there's probably some kind of marks or ugliness on it to deter you from purchasing it. This is a beautiful example, so this will probably sell today. And then we have a AUBU slider. So slider is a term that coin dealers use when the grade is pretty close to a brilliant uncirculated to AU, which means about uncirculated. So what that means is that it's very close to a low mint state coin. So mint state 60 is the lowest grade, and it's very close to a high grade, about uncirculated grade of AU 55 to 58. And to determine that, you basically want to look at the overall coin itself. This obviously has nice clear cheeks. The obverse is really nice. So the front of the coin is always called the obverse. And then the reverse of the coin obviously is the reverse. And then here you can really compare the breast feathers. See how these are a little more worn. So that's about uncirculated or lower mint state. And there are years like 1900, 1901, 1902, 1903, where it's very common to have a flat struck breast feathers because they didn't hit the dies as hard back then. And it's very common to have flatness above the ear. But for an 1886, that's not really that common. There are also some New Orleans mints that just, again, they didn't strike the coin as hard. So again, that's why this one would be a slider. It's a great example. And I'm asking $50 for this coin. That'll probably sell really quick because most of the $50 coins that are out there in the world of eBay look like poop. So this is a really nice coin. This next one is super interesting. So normally I don't like to pick up 1921 Morgan silver dollars because there's just a ton of them. So they minted like 45 million of these things. There's probably like 4.4 million that survive, so they do have a high survival rate. This one's a little different though. It actually has frostiness on both sides, and the fields actually have reflections in that. That's super rare. To tell you how rare that is, a recent sale on eBay of a mint state 64 proof-like designation sitting in a PCGS holder just sold for $2,700, which is kind of insane because the book value and PCGS's guide is $950. However, there's only like 140 of these that have officially been graded at that designation. Again, mint state 64 proof-like designation. So what you want to look for is the reflectiveness. Let me grab my gold lighter to really show that in the video. All right, yeah, I know not everyone has an actual gold lighter, but I do. I didn't take pictures of it with this, but at least in the video, it'll show you how reflective the coin is. And again, when I mean reflective, not like completely polished, but the actual fields themselves can show the reflectivity of the coin. So this one is pretty nice on both sides. I'm only asking $100 for this coin, which is kind of nuts, right? Because I'm telling you guys about stuff that, you know, selling for $2,700. And the reason is I don't run into these very often. And I think if you were to officially send this in to get graded, and let's say it did come back cleaned, you'd be pissed. So I don't want anyone to be upset. Obviously, if I thought it was a super strong, proof-like, easy grade, I'd send it in myself, right? And make, you know, $2,000 plus in value on the coin. So I'm always happy when I pick up a good deal on a coin and I get a nice looking coin. I'm always happy to share that experience with the next buyer. And if you want to send it in to get graded, you know, it's buyer beware. You know, there's no guarantees on grades. Obviously, grading is an opinion of the actual professional grader. But as far as the coin itself, very, very beautiful coin. And yes, it does weigh out correctly. You know, you guys a lot of times say, oh, it's fake. You're showing fake. Dude, I don't sell fake coins. That would be awful. I would have horrible feedback on eBay. I have 100% feedback. So you always want these to weigh in at 96.7, 0.9, 0.8. You always want to make sure they're not magnetic, which this one is not. And anyways, beautiful coin. Again, very, very rare that I actually find one this nice, raw, not sitting in a slab already. But man, if you want to just, again, they're harder to find. Like, it's really, really rare to find one that actually has a frosty look and again, not mirror, but like reflective type fields. It's super hard to find. I mean, you can kind of compare, see how dull the fields are here versus the reflectiveness in the fields here. It's big, big difference. All right, so that's Morgan style, just kind of showing again a slab version. Zoom back out here. So we have already a professionally graded version. We have a really nice gem BU version. We have a slider version, and then we have a rare, like reflective 1921. You're not going to see this in a lot of people's videos because most people that have these, they're not showing them off. Next, we're going to show what an Ike silver dollar is. So there, you got to be careful on these ones, guys. So you want to look for the S mint mark, and you also a dead tell of knowing that if the coin has copper or not is by looking at the edge. So if your edge has any copper toning to it whatsoever, it is not the silver one. So here's an obvious copper example of a modern quarter. See the copper rim. So if you see copper rim on a Ike dollar, if you're not sure if it's silver or not, obviously just look at the rim if it's silver color. They also make a certain ting too, so there is a certain sound to 40% silver. It's not as clear as 90%, so I'll show you this. So that's 40%, and then I'll ding this one here, this Morgan. So that way you can kind of hear the differences. But obviously, if it doesn't have any silver in it whatsoever, it's, you know, it's probably worth $1. I think the local coin shop by me sells these that are non-silver for like $1.50, and they think they pay $1.10 for them. So not a huge premium, and they just have buckets full of it. But anyways, it's a nice big coin because it's 40% silver. The actual melt value is close to $8. So if you find one of these out in the wild, the thing to look for is the S mint mark, which is right there. Can you see this S below his neck? So that looks nice. And this actual coin is really nice looking. They didn't make a ton of these, 6.8 million. I don't know what the survival rate is, but I have to assume like many of these probably did not get melted. It's just a nice, inexpensive way to get into the hobby without going crazy. And you get a nice, big, huge, you know, big old coin. A lot of people like that. This one in particular, I'm asking only $18 for, and I definitely think it's well worth it based on comps, you know, based on what's selling out there, what's available, things of that nature. Now, if you find one that looks perfect and it's not a proof, so it doesn't have like mirrors or frostiness, meaning it's a business strike, and it looks perfect, a Mint State 67 I think can go for like over $2,500. So if you find one that's super, super, super nice, they're very, very rare. And 1971 is the very first year of the Ike silver dollar. So in case you guys didn't know that. Next, we're going to show something that you probably don't see very often. And this one's kind of tricky because there are some repurposed or remade silver rounds, generic silver rounds that use, I think it's, how do you say this guy's name? It's an Aztec chieftain, so it's not even a king. It's Chuatamak. That's the way I'm going to say it. Anyways, this is an actual real world coin that was minted in Mexico in 1948. It is cinco, which means 5, so 5 pesos. And then if you can read somewhat Hispanic, but gramos, so 30 gramos. So it actually has more weight than a traditional silver dollar would. So there's actually more silver content in this. So the melt value is $21.83. And this one's super nice. It's very frosty on both sides. I will take it out of the holder. I'm going to hold it on the edges here. And here you have a Mexican eagle that's actually killing a rattlesnake on top of a prickly pear. Very, very cool reverse. And this one is in awesome condition on both sides. It's kind of easy to find nicer ones like this. There's no real reason to put these in holders. This one is just super gorgeous. I'm only asking $40 for this, but guys, they minted a lot of these. 26,740,000. So almost 27 million of these were minted, but they are truly 90% silver, and they weigh a lot, and it's a nice big chunky coin. So for $40, I know a lot of guys are like, oh, I want silver eagles, this and that. Well, here you get the best of both worlds. It's not a silver eagle, but it's a Mexican eagle, and it's eating a rattlesnake on a prickly pear. So very cool coin. Also very cool that it's from 1948 and that it's in this nice condition. So this one will sell pretty quick as well. And then finally, I've got some bullion here. So this is an actual .999 fine. That's just triple nines. Sometimes you'll have 4 nines. It doesn't matter. It's still almost 100% silver. And this is 1 ounce. This is a very interesting coin. It was definitely minted in 1980. The mint company, or the company that minted it, was called Liberty Trust Mint. And you got to think about it, guys. In 1980, I think that was after the Hunt brothers jacked the price up, or this might have been the time that the Hunt brothers jacked the price up. I don't really know the history of it. All I know is like 1986, when I was in a coin shop for the very first time when I was 10 years old, or about 9 years old. It might have been 1985. Silver was like $4, $4.50. So maybe this was the time that silver was really crazy insane at 35 or whatever they pumped it up to. But this is a very super nice round. You don't find a lot of these out there that are still in the wild, because most of these have probably been melted to make other stuff. But this is a very harder to find, nice round. And this particular one in this condition, I'm only asking 38 bucks. So if you guys find something like this out in the wild, just, look for it. It does have a nice, chunky feel to it. And I think it's a great looking coin. So this is a great example of a .999 silver round. So it's not a coin. What makes it a coin is if it's actually backed up by a government, like the U.S. government or Mexico or, New Zealand or Australia. This is not backed by any government, even though it was made here, probably in the United States. It just means it's a round. So that's another difference between a round and a coin. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys watching today. Hopefully you learned a little something. Again, it's hard to absorb all the knowledge in one video, but I wanted to keep it short and sweet. And if you want any of these beautiful examples, I will post the link always in my description. I always post the link straight to my eBay store. And then I'll actually post each individual one of these listings if you want to pick it up and buy one from me to support the channel. I don't do memberships. I don't believe in that. Just, giving me money for no reason. I'd rather, if you want to support the channel, just buy something from me. And, I like to share the experience with others, educate others. And I really enjoy like picking stuff like this up because, again, I don't have a Liberty lobby in my hand ever. I've probably never had this coin in my hand. I've never had a 1921 Morgan silver dollar with reflective fields in my hand before. And I probably never had an 1884 original green holder in my hand in a Mint State 63 either. Probably have had this. I've probably had this. I've probably had this. But again, it's like not every day. So I appreciate sharing this with you guys and the support that you give me on YouTube. And I'll talk to you in the next one.